Hello.
Hi.
And welcome back once again to Wheel Takes, a podcast.
War takes. War crimes takes.
A podcast about the Wheel of Time, a series of fantasy war crimes written by Robert Jordan and completed by Brandon War Crimerson. I'm Gus, and I've read every single one of them. I took Allie's bit, and I figured I'd run with it.
I'm Allie, and I am on War Crime 13, Chapter War Crime.
This, which is to say, was like 37, well, 38, but today we're only talking about 37. Actually, she's read through 39, which is called A Visit from Varansadai, but I want to reiterate that today we are only going to be talking about Chapter 37 of Force of Light, because that's a lot to talk about in and of itself, and we don't want to open up the whole can of worms that is the next two chapters on this episode. What was I saying? Yeah, the spoilers through 30, you get it. Hi!
Hi!
We haven't recorded an episode in almost a month because we did a bunch of pre-recording in anticipation of the show starting, with the expectation that we would have enough time in our lives to continue recording literally fucking anything.
We haven't.
Over the next month.
We're working on it. I'm sorry.
And this has been, I say this a lot, but it's always true, one of the busiest months I think we've ever had.
This month looked at all of our other months and was like, bet.
Yeah.
Well, your parents were here,
My parents
too,
were
and we
here,
wanted to spend time with them.
And thank God they were here, because I barely got to see them, and they were helping out because we were so fucking frazzled.
Slammed.
It's like
we have been slammed.
Yeah, but this is neither here nor
slammed.
there. I did get some very kind messages from people who were concerned that maybe we had died because we hadn't uploaded episodes about the Wheel of Time Season 3. Don't worry.
They worried we died?
I got at least one message from, and this was genuinely very sweet, from somebody who was like, "Are you okay? Is everything all right?"
Oh, we're working on it. I'm so sorry.
We're good. We're just really underwater. Life is blowing up in a lot of very good ways. This is a very, sometimes it's busy in bad ways.
It's only good ways.
These are currently 95 different good ways of busy.
Lots of good career stuff happening.
Lots of good career stuff, but
that we can't really talk about.
Unfortunately, the net effect of that has been the truncation of our time to really do anything podcast really. We had a whole other project that we were starting to get spun up that we're hoping to launch soon. Haven't touched that in a month.
Yeah.
It's we're happy to be back. We're happy to be here today. The what I'm getting at here is we're here and we're back.
We're back.
And in the next main book episode, podcast patron thanks are going to start up again, and the show episodes will start soon. Don't ask me what the particular release schedule is going to be in terms of when are there going to be show episodes versus Hunger Games episodes versus, I don't fucking know. There's going to be podcasts coming out. I can probably promise you that. Don't ask me for specifics because I don't have them.
We don't want to promise something.
I don't want to promise you something I can't deliver.
We're working on it.
Yeah.
We are so busy.
We're doing our best, but we're having a ton of fun. That's the thing I think is important to take away from here. We're having a great time. The book is in an amazing spot. Season 3 is fucking amazing.
Phenomenal.
Really.
I have so many thoughts, and I'm starting to write them down.
Really tremendous. Season 2 was a huge step up from Season 1.
And
Season
I keep
3
sitting
somehow
there watching Season 3 going, I am right again, Luce Theron.
is even a bigger step up from Season 2. If you want to know how busy we have been, by the way, it is currently Sunday, April 6th. We haven't watched the episode that dropped this week. Not because we don't want to. That's how busy we are. Because we haven't had time.
We should do that tonight.
I would like to do that if we can after this.
My friend's coming over for a ritual.
It's nice. So all that to say,
I need to cleanse some shit.
You know what's funny is I've talked about how busy we are, and I've managed to waste 5 minutes. We're here to talk today about Chapter 37. We're not even going to fucking touch on the stuff that happens next in case you are listening through with the podcast, in case you are reading through with the podcast and you're like, gosh, I've only read Chapter 37. And then Allie and I come on the mic and go, wow, here's this huge thing.
We're not going
to talk about it right now.
But that's kind of a spoiler in itself that something is about to happen.
Or I'm fucking with them.
That's true. We could be fucking with you.
The same way that I like to fuck with your expectations on live streams.
You have not really done that much.
No, I have not.
Like, we've never listened to a boring chapter on a live stream. I get really nervous every time.
That's the fun. Because if I did it once, then you would go, well, he'll never do it again. So I can never do it. But now that I've said I can never do it, maybe I will.
Okay, Gus.
You know what? This isn't a serious episode, but it kind of is.
This is a serious podcast.
Do you remember when we recorded that almost a month ago? The episode where we kept yelling serious podcast?
I didn't until everyone started talking about it. And then I was like, oh, yeah. The serious podcast, because we didn't have very much time, which we don't tonight either.
We never have. Allie, we're here to talk today.
I just had to record an audition. It was a whole thing.
We're here to talk today about this chapter where Rand does some fucked up shit. Now, that could be almost any chapter in the later Wheel of Time books thus far. I realize that. That doesn't narrow it down. You know what might narrow it down? Gyarados use Hyperbeam.
I am...
or whatever the sound is.
So he confirmed that she was in there with his little messenger, right?
Yes.
And then he just erased who knows how many people.
A couple hundred. Now
from not just like their lives, but existence itself.
Well, here's what's annoying me.
Like, they can never be reborn.
No, listen, wait. You would think, and that would make it a lot more dramatically interesting.
Wait, what?
You may have forgotten this.
What do you mean?
At one point, at a signing somewhere, somebody asked Robert Jordan, so Balefire is the eternal death of the soul, right? And he went, oh, no.
What? Then who cares? Well, I mean, obviously we care, but like, what?
Yeah. I think Balefire carries a lot more weight.
If it's the eternal death of the soul and you're deleted from the pattern.
If it is the eternal death of the soul.
It's so much more. What?
But it's not. It's canonically not.
I'm going to pretend that never happened.
I am happy to pretend that's not
because
true.
Because it's so much more dramatically interesting if
he
just erased all those people from the pattern forever.
And, you know, this is a very common misunderstanding because everything in the context
Well, it's a common misunderstanding because it should be.
It's a common misunderstanding.
Because it's way more interesting. What?
Well, it's heavily implied in the books.
Why would you fuck up your own books? Sorry, that was rude. I didn't mean it like that. But why would you renege on like one of the most interesting things? What?
I don't know. I've heard people make the argument.
Are we sure? Are we sure he said that?
Yes.
We're sure he said that?
Yes.
And that he didn't just misunderstand the question?
No, we are 100% sure that Balefire is not the eternal death of the soul in the canon. It means that you die before you die, and the Dark One is there playing fucking missile defense. And if you die before you die, it means he zips past his little catcher's mitt. And so he can't catcher's mitt your soul and fucking lobby. I've mixed my metaphors.
Why would you overcomplicate it like that? Why not just do the much more interesting and dramatic thing, which is the eternal death of the soul?
I've heard people say that it's because then the metaphysics wouldn't make sense because the...
What do you mean the metaphysics?
Because then you got to understand,
what do you
Allie,
mean?
There's,
what do you mean?
There's hard and fast rules
what do you mean?
here.
What do you mean?
Have you never heard of the magic battle in the sky?
What do you mean? 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 He does not give a shit about the metaphysics. He is out there just swinging his dick around doing whatever the fuck he wants. Are you...
Yeah, people have argued to me that if Balefire...
I'm going to walk into the sun.
If Balefire were the eternal death of the soul, then that would mean that there is a way to get rid of everything.
Can I Balefire Robert Jordan to stop him from saying that?
No, that you could.
Sorry.
Wait. Can I finish what I was going to say?
Yes, please.
That you could therefore Balefire away the whole pattern over time, and that therefore the pattern would not be infinite. To which I would say, one, that's cool, and two, maybe you just Balefire it out of its current configuration, and then like the pattern goo eventually reconstitutes into something else, but like it's still like you're, dead. I don't know, man. I just kind of like...
I just feel like it makes sense with the metaphysics of reincarnation that there's a way you could just like fuck with that.
Have you thought that Balefire was the eternal death of the soul the entire time?
Of course.
Oh, yeah, it's not.
It's the only thing that makes sense.
It is the best and most interesting option.
No, I don't agree.
It does make this whole chapter significantly less weighty.
That's why I was so upset. Yes, it literally... Why would you...
Well, because...
Why would you put something into your...
You go ahead, and then I'll say what I was going to say.
Why would you put something into your own books that dramatically decreases the impact of the storytelling? Why would you do that? Why? And it's also confusing when you have another thing that's much more simple, clean, and interesting.
It is massively confusing, and it's really funny because I see this on the internet on almost a monthly basis where somebody goes, no, balefire is the eternal death of the soul, and then 30 people jump on the thread.
Because it's the only thing that makes sense.
And they go, no, he clarified this. It's not. And then that person says, why the fuck would it not be?
Yes, correct. Why the fuck would it not be? Why, Robert? I have so many questions for him. I have so many questions. Okay, listen. I really am enjoying your books, Robert. I really am. Robert, I'm really enjoying your books. I really am. And I appreciate you as a writer and all this stuff. Yes, all of it. But what the fuck? There's a couple of times where I'm just like, why? And I already know. Listen, I already know someone's going to roll into our comments. I already know. I hear you rolling in right now. I hear it. To go, well, actually, and I'm just going to tell you right now, no, actually. Great. We don't have to get into further conversation about it.
I'm going to timestamp this moment of the podcast. And if somebody does say this to you, reply with the timestamp where you say,
no, actually.
Yeah.
No, actually.
I'll get you the timestamp.
I don't agree with you, and I will never agree with you, so we might as well not even have this conversation.
So here's the...
I've become so like when we first started this podcast, I was like, well, all opinions are valid, and like I want to engage. And you're allowed to have your opinion. You're allowed to disagree with me 100%. There's a certain extent to which I'm like, I have only so much time, and I do not have time to debate this with you. We were just not going to agree, and that's going to be okay. Do you know what I mean? But at the beginning, I was like, yes, let me just evaluate all opinions and now I'm like, I don't want to fucking hear it. I've just become so spicy.
The thing about balefire and the way that we have kind of compensated in world to make it dangerous still is that if you do too much of it, the pattern might just vibrate out of existence. Mm-hmm. To which I would reply, that's worse than...
That raises the stakes significantly.
But like...
That's why you shouldn't do it.
Yeah.
That's the...
No,
when everyone freaks out and they goes like, oh my God, you shouldn't use balefire. It's like, yeah, because you could vibrate the pattern out of existence.
But it's still not the eternal death of the soul. But what I was going to say was, if you could vibrate the pattern out of existence...
What's happening to the souls then?
That's still a problem.
But what's happening to the souls then? If you could vibrate the pattern out of existence, then... Aren't you vibrating the souls out of existence?
I don't know, man.
Make it make fucking sense.
But like...
Someone's going to try to make it... No, you don't need to make it make sense because it doesn't.
That was a rhetorical sense.
No, here's the thing. I'm starting to get a little spicier just in general in my life because apparently I need to clear my throat chakra because I've been holding back my truths. That's what somebody said to me recently. Listen, you move to California and the witches, they find you. So somebody was doing tarot at a barbecue we were at recently.
Because that's what happens here.
And I was like, fuck it. Why not? Tell me your magic cards. And the magic cards called me out really hard. Yeah. The magic cards were like, bet, Allie. And then I was like, oh, okay, these magic cards. And then they were like, your throat chakra is so blocked. And I was like, okay, that's a lot. So then I went to my acupuncturist because that's something you have out here. And I was like, hey, so this might sound a little woo-woo. And she goes, I'm an acupuncturist. And I was like, valid. And I was like, my throat chakra is blocked, apparently, according to this tarot reader. And she was like, we can fix that. She like brightened. She was so excited to like be not just working on my back and neck, which is what we're always working on. And so she does all this stuff. And it was one of the most profound experiences I've had in my fucking life. Like one of the most beautiful, freeing experiences I've ever had. Acupuncture is amazing. 10 out of 10. Like what?
Go ahead. I was going to ask you wheel time. Go ahead.
I'm going to get back there.
Okay.
Promise. But anyway, so apparently part of my problem is that I have not been speaking my truth enough. So... No more Mrs. Nice Alley. If you thought I was a dick before.
So how do you feel about the fact that balefire is not the eternal death of the soul?
I fucking hate it. I'm sorry. I hate it. I think it's dumb. But you know what? Here's the thing. If you love that, if that's your favorite complicated metaphysics thing, I love that for you.
How do you feel about the magic battle in the sky?
It was cool.
Sure.
I think it happened too early.
Yeah, I agree with that.
That's my thing. My thing about it is I'm like, he thought it was only 3 books, and that makes sense that he would put something that huge in book 2 if you think that you don't have that much further to go. But if you do a magic battle in the sky in book 2 of 15 or whatever, 15?
15 including the prequel.
Yeah. There's not a lot bigger you can go. It's you're kind of like, where else do we go from here? It's hard to top it. You know, you kind of got to build. So I don't think that was like a bad writing move or something.
Oh God, I love it. No. Listen, I'm sorry. I was being facetious. I was being silly because we were talking about how Balefire's rules had to change because of the metaphysics and whatever. It doesn't really matter.
No, because it annoys you because you're like, okay, explain the metaphysics of magic battle in the sky.
I know. I get the metaphysics as explained by various people throughout the years on like Usenet. I understand the rationale that people have come to. I just think it's hilariously fucking overburdened. Have you heard what the explanation is?
No.
The explanation is that the blowing of the horn of Valir resonated heavily with a given portion of the pattern to transmute part of the pattern into Toliran Riyadh, such that the intense focus of the pattern on Rand and Ishamael was so significant that dreamlike things began to occur, and since the focus of the whole pattern was on Rand and Ishamael fighting on the tower top, they were therefore transmuted into the sky as if they had been astrally projected there, because when the Horn of Valir blew, it connected the real world with Toliran Riyadh, because that's where the heroes of the Horn hang out. And so when they came in to start shooting fucking ballistic cruise missiles at ships using bows, it made the pattern change so that the pattern was basically then also Toliran Riyadh. Anyway.
I'm going to be honest with you. I stopped listening about halfway through that because I was just like... We cannot be doing this.
Look, I think it's fun. I have no problem with that. I think it's fun. I think it's cool.
Meanwhile, and this is a call out. Perrin's shield stopping Ishamael's magic in the show makes no sense.
That's the problem I have with it. That's the problem I have. I don't give a shit if people want to come up with these really cool explanations for things. It's fine. It's
but
that
like,
then they will take
that they have like
things.
Rock solid metaphysics in this book.
No,
series.
my God, no.
Like weird shit happens all the time.
Trollocs can't go through gateways, and
I was like,
and that's great.
My thought process was it could be a Quendiar shield.
That works
because guess who gave it to him? Uno, but Uno was dead because he was a hero of the Horn. So I was like, it could be Quendiar, which to me was a much simpler explanation than anything you just said.
Yeah. I'm going to repeat once again. I enjoy convoluted explanations. I think they're fun. I just think if you're going to make one convoluted explanation, you should make a bunch.
You should just give the show a pass for things that don't make that are
or the books
that are a little bit off of your headcanon metaphysics. This is headcanon metaphysics.
You know what the funniest thing is too? Somebody once asked, you know this, but I'm going to repeat it. Somebody asked Robert Jordan what would happen if you made two gateways in front of and behind you and then balefired yourself, and he told that person to get a life. I think that's a pretty simple metaphysics question, so I think, frankly, Robert Jordan would be ashamed in all of us, especially me.
He definitely would have asked us to get a life by now. We've been podcasting out these books for 5 years.
Years ago. He would be disgusted with the fact that we have been talking about his books for 5 years. Oh, God. Oh, what have we done? Okay.
I love it.
I love Robert Jordan's
You know what?
books.
I love it.
I'm having fun.
I'm so happy we're here and doing this. And this is like a thing we do with our lives.
We've completely lost the plot.
No, we haven't, because this is all about Rand.
This is all about Rand.
Apparently not balefiring all these souls out of existence. Let's just lessen the stakes of this moment, actually.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, all these people still died, but I thought he zapped them out of fucking existence.
No, he didn't.
Itself.
They'll be back in the next cycle.
See, it just dramatically,
does.
Yes, it's still a bunch of people die.
And it's still the risk
honestly,
of like Bale screaming
we might as well
pattern.
end the episode at this point, because I'm like, the wind has been taken out of my sails so hard.
It's still the risk of vibrating the pattern out of existence with Balefire, but I just don't think that's this. I don't know, man.
I don't know,
Balefire scared the shit out of me until I learned that it wasn't this.
But then it did. Yes, it was so much scarier before, and now I'm like, oh. Okay.
Yeah, because now it's just nuclear grenades, which are still very scary in the context.
Scary. I'm still scared.
It's still scary in the context,
but I'm less scared
in the consideration of the way the magic works and the way the wheel of
the
time
reincarnation
works, and the fact that
cycle.
there's canonical reincarnation. It's less scary.
It's less scary,
in my opinion.
A little bit. It's a little bit less. A lot bit. I got to be honest, a lot bit.
Yeah.
Because death is one thing, and that's fucking awful. And I'm not taking anything away from the fact that he committed a massive war crime.
it's still terrible.
But what I thought had happened was he had taken a fortress full of people and zapped them out of time and space itself.
Yeah.
And so they would never be reborn into the pattern ever again.
Yeah.
To me, I was like, that is one of the most shocking, upsetting, horrific, and it still is pretty upsetting and horrific, don't get me wrong. But I was like, this is worse than Demise Wells. That was my feeling about it before. I was like, this is worse. This is the worst thing anyone in these books has ever done.
It probably would have been.
It still is.
It still is,
It still is. But man, the wind has been taken out of my sails. I wish you had never told me.
I'm sorry. You
Wow,
can
I was
pretend
ready to
that's
go
not
off.
true.
I was ready to be dismayed and depressed, and I still am. But it's just not the same. It does not hit the same. I'm going to be real. It's like finding out. It's like Newman-O's instead of Oreos. You know, they're just
Newman-O's.
not right.
Newman-O's is the episode title.
They're Newman-O's. I've been Newman-O'd.
I still like Newman-O's.
That is your opinion.
Okay.
That is fucked up. Actually, I'm looking at you differently. They're
They're
not
not as good.
They're not near. They're ass. They're ass. They're ass. I'm sorry. I'm getting really upset about this, but they're ass because okay. I'm sorry. I had one of those almond moms, right? And she always thought that the Newman-O's were healthier because they tasted shittier than Oreos, right? I'm sure they're exactly the same. Someone's going to tell me the nutritional facts. Like, give me the breakdown. But she would have Newman-O's instead of Oreos. And then then the Newman-O's weren't healthy enough, right? So then we had the like 100 calorie snack pack Oreos, which was a wafer that tasted a little, if you dreamed it, like an Oreo.
So we're going to take an ad break.
It's fine.
Because we've been yapping.
But being an almond mom is psychologically damaging to your children.
We're going to be...
Just know that right now. I'm speaking my truth. My throat chakra's open.
Yes, we're going to take an ad break. Be back. Okay, we're back. We're not calm, and we never have been. Except during Crossroads of Twilight.
I told you in our marriage vows, you'll never be bored.
You did, and that was true.
Yeah. Have you been bored yet in our marriage?
No. Oh, I forgot
Not
to
one
mention
time.
one other thing. We're both sick.
No, we are both sick, and we
so
have
that's
been.
another element. If I cough, my
I've
bad.
also gone through like 3 different incredibly huge psychological revelations in the past week. Actually 2, and I'm venturing on a 3rd.
But here's what's up.
Which has wrecked me like mind, body, and soul.
Chapter 37.
But in a good way.
A Force of Light. There's the logo. What's this?
Dragon in a box.
Dragon in the box.
But I'm rebuilding my life piece by piece.
We're here.
In its way.
And do you... you don't, because we did a live reaction for this. Notes. No notes.
No
right?
notes.
No notes. By the way, we're probably going to live react to almost the entire rest of the book at some point or another.
Yay.
I don't know when. Not all at once. God. But like sometime in the next week or 2, we're going to do chapters 40 and 41. And it's just like, because we listened to 3 chapters on this past live reaction, and then you wanted to keep going. And I was like, we cannot do that. And we haven't had the moment to connect with the Wheel of Time since. Except to watch season 3. Chapter 37,
Which is phenomenal.
It's really good. Min sat quietly watching Rand.
And you know what's been really a blessing for me?
What?
Is that I'm off social media. So I haven't heard anything contrary. Anyone's complaints. Nothing.
There's a lot less.
Good.
There's a lot less.
There should be. Because you know what? If I would fight someone.
Yeah. Okay, we actually had to take a 2-day break, which is why this is not out on Sunday.
Sick.
And it's good. It's good. It's good. It's good. It's good. Chapter 37, Ellie, A Force of Light. Here's the logo. What is it? We already said that. It's the dragon in the box. Min sat quietly watching Rand dress. His motions were tense and careful, like the steps of a performer walking the high rope at a menagerie. He did up the left cuff on his crisp white shirt with slow, deliberate fingers. The right cuff was already done up. His servants saw to that. Why is the right cuff already sewn up?
Because he has no arm.
He only has one hand, yeah. So what happens?
So...
What's Min want to talk about? What's Rand not talking about?
What
just happened?
What just happened? He strangled Min?
That was a while ago.
I know that was a while ago, but like, what do you mean what just happened?
What literally just happened?
Did they fuck?
2 chapters ago.
Oh, I don't...
What went tits up?
Pretty much everything Rand does?
Yes. What did Rand and another person completely beef? What did they utterly fuck it at?
Peace with the Seanchan.
Allie, you're getting your wish. There is not peace with the Seanchan. Are you pleased? Are you overjoyed?
I'm pleased with reservations because I feel that... Look how forlorn the dog looks.
The dog had surgery in the intervening time between these 2 recording clips.
Because occasionally his body just grows stuff. And we're like, that's weird.
He is making truly the most bizarre fucking face right now. Because he's got a cone on.
Bummed.
It's really...
He's very sedated.
And his tail's tucked. There's nothing quite like this.
So forlorn.
I have truly never seen... Or possessed.
And he's just staring at me.
It's weird.
Wait, no. I think I need to get the angle that I'm at because it's even weirder from my angle.
Yeah.
Look at him.
He's just not moving.
And just staring at me like this.
It's real weird. Oh, that's horrible. Okay.
It's
sweet. Nightmarishly creepy.
He's got the sweetest
now he's perked his head up and he's adorable again. Here's the thing. The Wheel of Time. Allie, Seanchan.
Yes.
I know we talked about this last episode.
I'm pleased with reservations because I worry that this is not the end of this.
Well, I mean, it is still bad that they're still fighting, and it's also bad that she just launched a colossal strike on the White Tower.
It's not great. It's actively bad. We could say it's a massive bummer.
A huge bummer, but not as much. Is it as much of a bummer as Rand doing this horrific war crimey thing, which, by the way, does not involve the eternal death of the soul?
Wait, it doesn't?
I could have sworn I told you this years ago.
No, I mean, I'm sure you did, and I just was like, I disagree with that decision.
Oh, I hate that.
Yeah, I was just like, then what the fuck is the point?
Yeah.
It's fine. You know what? Robert Jordan is infallible. And how dare us? How dare we? We're not allowed to disagree with the prophet Robert Jordan.
No. Anyway.
I just mildly disagree.
That's
okay.
Fine.
It's fine. And you can love it. If that is your favorite thing about the books, that the thing that has consequence has not as much consequence, then that's your opinion.
Well, it still has consequence. It's just harder to understand.
I said has less consequence.
Yeah.
I didn't say has none.
No, I know. I know. Well, yeah. So Min is like, hey, buddy.
However, okay, just looking at it, Balefire aside, just looking at all this, objectively a shitty thing to do.
Look, regardless of whether or not it's the eternal death of the soul, regardless of whether or not these people had been brainwashed,
war crime.
He still killed hundreds of people.
Now, here's my thing. Why couldn't we go, great, where is she?
Because he knew she would outmaneuver him somehow.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, it does make sense. It's just shitty. It's
just like, what were the other plans on the table? Do you know what I mean? Like, could we have workshopped this a bit? You know?
Rand doesn't do that. He doesn't do sharing plans.
See, and this is what I have a problem with that. I have a problem. We have to have like 3 people that we can workshop our plans with.
He didn't do that because of all of the traitoring.
Here's who I propose. Min, we're actively balls deep in her, so we've got to trust her at least a little.
Routinely.
Mm-hmm. Avyenda, again, balls deep. Let's throw Nynaeve in there.
He does trust Nynaeve, by and large.
He says he does. Like that she's the person he could trust the most. Or, bop over to Matt and Perrin. You can gateway.
You can do that.
Yeah.
I do feel like we frequently forget we can teleport.
And we can meet in the dream.
You can meet in the dream.
But there's so many meeting spots where we could workshop things with people that we
anymore.
trust. Elaine, we trust her, right? She's good at diplomacy. She's good at this kind of stuff.
She famously
I think we form a small council of our childhood friends and the women we're actively fucking.
And also the woman who used to spank our ass.
Childhood friends.
I don't think he would call Nynaeve a childhood friend.
Tomato.
Yeah. Tomato.
Tomato.
You're funny. Yeah, so Min goes, hey, bud. You want to talk about the whole, fucking up the peace with the Seanchan thing? And he goes, there will be no peace.
Oh, my God.
With the I have failed. And she goes, that's okay, buddy. I know you're upset. And he goes, fuck that. I'm not upset. Being upset doesn't accomplish diddly dick shit. I can't fucking even worry about this shit. I ain't got time for this. I'm just gonna have to risk taking it up the ass from the Shanchan while I'm dealing with everything else. And she's like, you've gotten really like uncomfortably vulgar and coarse, Gus. Anyway, what does he actually say? Frustration is pointless. Anger is pointless. Neither emotion will change facts. And the fact is that I have no more time to waste on the Shanchan. We'll have to risk an attack from behind by riding to the last battle without stability and arid demand. It's not ideal, but it is what must happen. And then Min has a viewing, and she sees Dragonmount. Dragonmount, cloaked in dark shadows, as if shaded by clouds high above. That was odd. Whenever she'd seen the mountain, it had reached higher than the clouds themselves. Dragonmount in shadows, it would be important to Rand in the future. Was that a tiny prick of light shining from the heavens down onto the point of the mountain? First Min viewing in a minute.
So what was the viewing again? Read it again. I'm trying to... my brain is so slow right now.
The air shimmered above Rand, and a mountain appeared there. Viewings were so common around Rand. Min usually forced herself to ignore them.
She's just seeing the thing he's just about to do.
Though she did spend she did spend time some days trying to pick them all out and sort through them. This one was new.
Well, I would hope so.
And it caught her attention.
It is the end of the world, after all.
The towering mountain was blasted out on one side, making a jagged hole down the slope. Dragonmount? It was cloaked in dark shadows, as if shaded by clouds high above. That was odd. Whenever she'd seen the mountain, it had reached higher than the clouds themselves. Dragonmount in shadows. It would be important to Rand in the future. Was that a tiny prick of light shining from the heavens down onto the point of the mountain? So it's Dragonmount, but it's dark, which is weird because it goes beyond the clouds. And also there may be a little tiny like spotlight of light shining out of the top of it.
Huh. A volcano?
It is a volcano, but she's not talking about volcanic light. She's saying there's like light on the top of Dragonmount.
Just like hanging out?
Was that a tiny...
Was it Lanfear's fuck cabin?
Was that... It's too tall for that. Was that a tiny prick of light?
That was... I know I do. Yes. Gus. Yes. If I were an unfunny chick, that would have been the funniest thing I said all year.
That's true. Was that a tiny prick of light shining from the heavens down onto the point of the mountain?
From the heavens onto the point of mayhap.
Any thoughts on this viewing? Dragonmount going to be important.
With a spotlight on top of it.
Dark Dragonmount with maybe a spotlight.
Spotlight Dragonmount. Dragonmount goes Hollywood.
All right. So.
Wait. You haven't given me a moment to think.
Okay.
My goodness, what is the rush? I know what the rush is.
Yeah.
Not at this juncture.
Okay.
Maybe something. His blood will be spilled on the rocks of Dragonmount. It could have something to do with that.
Rocks of Shyle Ghul.
His rocks will be spilled on the blood.
Yeah, I was gonna say we're talking about spilling rocks. That's a different thing.
Is that like a sex term?
No, but if you collate together a bunch of sex terms, it becomes one.
I see. We just invented a new sex term.
Never use it again.
Spilling your rocks.
I fucking hate that.
Spill his rocks on Dragonmount.
Deeply upset by this.
His rocks be spilling.
This is the most bizarrely onanistic fucking weird thing to word that as. Makes me so uncomfortable. I love it.
Spilling the rocks.
I am not happy, but I am.
Not the beans.
The dog has
now
been
that's given spilling the beans a new meaning.
I don't want to know what that is. What is that?
Because if these are the beans.
Oh, okay.
You get it?
Yes, I do.
Because the rocks are these,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
We know.
Yes,
we know
I understand.
This.
Yes.
It's male genitalia.
Yes, I am familiar with male genitalia.
and then beans could also be that same body part. You see?
I understand.
You understand? If you were,
yeah.
a man.
I was going to say something else, but that's fine. So.
What were you going to say?
What? No, I don't want to keep talking about genitals this detailed on the podcast.
I do.
Okay. What else is a bean, Allie?
I see.
There you go.
What's a little genitalia among adults? Am I right?
Consensually.
Well, yeah.
That's very important key differentiation here.
Such an important part of the whole thing.
You can't just say that. What's a dick between friends? A problem sometimes.
A problem. A ruined friendship.
Like an actual issue sometimes. Like it don't contact me.
God.
Okay.
I don't know what's going on.
I've never known. I'm so lost. Okay.
I'm so tired. Oh my God.
It's good. Okay.
Yeah.
So this happens. And she's like, Min is having a bad time. I've been reading a lot more books and working on this shit a lot because Rand is like, we gotta go now. We've been fucking around for like 7 fucking books and now it's time. The people want a conclusion. So we gotta move.
Well, what if we took about 3 more minutes?
Can't do it.
3 more minutes.
Can't do it, Allie.
Before we murdered
The
an entire
bread
fortune.
is rotting.
I'd be so mad at how little thought he gave my death if it were me. If I was just like a casualty in all this, I'd be like, well, at least talk to one friend about it. At least spend 5 minutes on it. I don't know. Where you're like, at least show a bit of hesitation. He seemed so like he was spilling his rocks to do this.
What have we done? She's tickling me. No.
He was spilling his rocks to murder a fucking fortress full of people.
Oh God, we're a mess.
At this point, I'm like, what is the difference between him and Forsaken, really? Like, all of what shit Forsaken
That's a great question.
I'm just saying, what all the shit that Forsaken have done, I'm like, I mean, Rand's done stuff that approximates that at this point.
Yeah.
The only difference is Rand has been told to us as one of the good guys. And I'm like, yeah.
Well, that's kind of the point, right? Is that the Dark One could have killed him at any time.
That's not
probably.
That's not the point.
But he's decided instead, not could have, you know what I mean?
The point is not moral relativism.
That's not what moral relativism is.
I don't give a fuck.
That's fair. I can't.
What is moral? All right, fine. What is moral relativism? I'll bite.
I wasn't trying to bait you into talking about moral relativism.
No, we're going to talk about it. What is it? All right, I'm Googling it.
Moral relativism is the anthropological concept that if you can't apply one culture's morals to the actions of another culture.
Moral relativism is the view that moral judgments are true or false only relative to some particular standpoint.
Yeah.
I used it correctly.
Okay, my bad.
Well, actually.
I was wrong. Listen, I'm wrong a lot. Happens a lot. I was talking about it in the anthropological definition.
Yeah, well, it can be individual to individual.
Okay, my bad.
Spill your rocks on that.
What?
I just spilled my moral relativism rocks all over.
You sure did. Usually when I hear it, it's used in the context of like
a broader cultural sense. Yeah.
Yeah, or like a lot of the time people go like, well, the Shan-Chan and the slavers aren't that bad because it's part of their culture.
All right.
And
all right. Shut the fuck up.
And wait. When I hear that, usually I go, okay, that argument also expires the second they leave their shores.
Yeah.
The second they impinge their beliefs on another people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Impinge is not the right word. Guys, you got to give me some grace when I say the wrong word, as though people have responded to tell me that impinge was the wrong word. Nobody has ever pointed out that I used impinge wrong. Maybe I didn't.
You didn't.
I didn't?
I was like, I think you used it correctly. Have an effect or impact, especially a negative one.
Yeah, I
was like, I don't think that's wrong. I'm crushing it with the vocab today.
Okay. Okay. Min is like, you good? And he's like, no. And she goes, she's been reading.
He's like, much like Allie, I've never been good in my life.
She's been reading her books lately.
I was born bad.
Partly because she didn't know what else to do.
On the day I was born.
She'd like to think that she was capable of taking care of herself. And
you know what? That's not true. One day in 1997, I was great.
Was there like a really good episode of SpongeBob on?
Probably.
Yeah. And she'd begun to think of herself as a last defense for Rand.
Actually, in real life, I just want to say something nice to you.
Go ahead.
I want to say something nice. Ever since I met you, every day's been great. I know. You see how you looked at me annoyed because I interrupted you and then I said the nicest thing possible?
You showed me.
Wow.
Min had discovered just how useful she was as a line of defense. She'd been about as useful as a child. In fact, she'd been a hindrance, a tool for Semirog to use against him.
Well, in fairness to Min, she is like Satan's butthole.
She'd been indignant when Rand had suggested sending her away, giving him a tongue lashing for even suggesting it.
Oh, yeah?
send her away to keep her safe? That was foolishness. She could take care of herself, so she had thought. Now she saw.
Well, that was dumb because it's a Forsaken.
That he'd been, well, she meant like, because Rand's always like, Min, stay away from me. You're in danger. And she was like, you're an idiot. And then she got turned into...
I mean, okay. Here's the thing. What's she supposed to do? Go be unsafe somewhere else?
That's part of the issue, yeah.
Like, she's safer with him than she is out in the world. Because they know he loves her.
Yeah. So you know how like she's been kind of wary of him and Rand thought it was because she was like...
No, she's ashamed of her own weakness. We already know. Because you know what? Here's the thing. If we communicated with each other for a minute, all these marriages are doomed. Doomed.
Yeah, kind of.
Every single marriage. Every single marriage in the Wheel of Time, except for Rourke and Amis and Dira and Davram. Though apparently in the show. But like, doomed.
So, you poor thing. So here's the thing. Min has that feeling, you know, she was not staying away because she couldn't, you know, stop thinking about how Rand was choking her. She was staying away because she was embarrassed by her weakness. I do feel the need to point out that the text has made Min getting choked to death or nearly to death entirely about Rand. I just feel the need to mention really quickly that Min's entire response to nearly dying is, well, I wonder how that made Rand feel.
Gus.
I just needed to point that out.
Gus, here's the thing. The only people that matter are men.
I just had to bring it up because Bree and I have talked about this a lot. It is
well known that the only people that matter can spill their rocks.
Okay.
Instead of their beans.
Okay.
Do we understand?
Yeah.
Beans can feed people, but otherwise unimportant. Rocks, on the other hand, can't feed people, could build a house-ish, but with other materials.
What are we doing today? What is this?
So they're more important.
Why are we here? What's happening?
And I'll stand by that. You can quote me on that. Me, Allie, hate women.
That makes sense.
Hate them.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about this at all, or do you want to harp through it?
I love women. I love them. I would marry one if I weren't already married. You know?
Do you want to talk about this at all, or do you want to harp through it?
Harp. Through the Min shit?
No, through the fact that Min's opinion on her being choked to death. Yeah. No, please, no. What do you do here?
Because I hate it so much. I'm going to balefire it out of existence. That's my balefiring. That's what my balefire sound effect would sound
Very
like.
Good.
Because you know what? As we know, balefiring is deleting something's existence. So I'm going to balefire Min making her being choked out by her boyfriend at the behest of a Forsaken, all about how her boyfriend feels. I'm going to balefire that out of existence for 500, Alex.
So Rand's getting dressed, and Min is like, "You're going to fuck up Grendel, right?" And he goes, "I have to fix what problems I can."
Okay.
And he puts his sword on.
If this was how I were treated by my boyfriend after we were strangled, he would no longer be my boyfriend.
She might be waiting for you, Rand. Did it occur to you that the boy 9 you found was a plant? Intended to, and he's like, no, not in this case. Usually, yes, but not now. Anyway, you want you and then she stands up and he's like, "Oh shit, you're coming with?" And she's like, "Damn, I'm gonna be a fucking problem again. I guess I am the problem. I'm just a weak woman who should never be that's not exactly verbatim what she thinks, but she feels bad because and I understand why she feels bad about this. I do.
How people say, you know how people say God gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. This does not apply in this scenario. You must speak if there is something this relevant to your relationship.
It is kind of critical that they talk about this.
Like you should if we like dinged the bumper of a car, I would be like, we should probably sit down and talk about that, you know, and how that made us feel. He strangled her ass.
Okay, this is funny because you actually did ding the bumper of my car.
Okay, here's what happened.
You cracked my taillight and folded in part of my trunk.
It was an accident.
I'm not mad about it.
I felt really terrible.
The funny part is, then you forgot to tell me for a week.
No, because here's why I forgot to tell you. I immediately fessed up, though. I immediately fessed up
but
when
you forgot to tell me.
Oh, fuck, I'm so sorry. I forgot to tell you. Well, I forgot to tell you because I have ADHD.
I'm not mad about it.
I drove all the way home, which was a 45-minute drive. giving me ample time to forget that had happened.
Yeah.
And it was a really tiny ding, and it was dark, so I didn't see how bad the ding actually was.
Yeah.
Like, I looked at it and I was like, oh, it doesn't look that bad. But then the next day it looked much worse. Then, because it was the dark.
No, look, I'm not mad about
Then
this.
I came home. Thank you for spilling the rocks of our relationship.
You picked the one thing, the one fucking example where I can
I
go,
know, you
that
looked at me.
specifically
You looked
is
at
not
me and I was
true.
like, fuck. Okay, well. I would from now on. Yeah. Because, okay, so then here's what happened. Then I came home and we were throwing a game night. And so I walked in. I didn't want to tell you in front of all those people because I thought you might be a little upset with me. And I don't like when people see you a little upset with me in front of them because I have a lot of trauma. And so, and I still, after all that trauma, don't 100% trust that like you won't just one day ream my ass over the coals.
Why would I do
even
that?
though you would never do that. You wouldn't.
I wouldn't.
But I have trauma.
I understand.
Yeah, it's not rational.
No, I
you know
but
this.
It was funny.
So then, then, to my credit, a week later, you came in to the bar we were all hanging out at with our friends, and you were like pissed off. And I was like, "What happened?" You were like, "Somebody hit and ran my car," and I was like, "Fuck."
Well, no, this is
Fuck.
this is
Now
the,
I gotta fess up, and I look so fucking shady.
this is the funnier part. I think there's an element of this that you forgot because we'll be entirely fair here. I didn't notice for about 5-6 days.
Yes, you did not
because
it wasn't. He is making it sound like I like fucking bashed the back of his car.
She
It
cracked.
was really small. It was a
small.
hairline crack.
No,
Just the problem with the crack. No, the problem with the crack is that it made your blinker all freaky.
It broke my blinker, and also it's on the very lip of the where the trunk goes up and down, and so that means that it's creased, like the trunk creased. So it's a pain in the ass repair for that purpose.
Yeah, but
it's not
that
hard.
was not
you don't
noticeable.
notice it
That was not a noticeable
unless
issue.
you're looking for it.
Yeah, it was not a noticeable issue. And so,
But what's funny
I was
is
not a bad person for forgetting that because
No,
I
she didn't, like,
I
total,
saw
like,
like
no,
a
no,
tiny
no.
crack on your thing, and I was like, oh, that sucks. But I'll mention it, and like it's probably like minor body work, right? And it did.
it's not minor body work.
Didn't turn out to be much
It's
more
not minor.
expensive
Yeah,
than that.
but that doesn't
But
matter. But wait, the funny part is I come into the bar because I drove the car around to the bar and I had to put on my left blinker and it started going faster. I was like, oh, that's weird. And so I parked and I get out and I look and I'm like, oh my God, my blinker is like almost broken in half. And I look up and I'm like, oh my God, the trunk, oh my God, like what happened? And I come into the bar and I'm like, Allie, somebody
He's fuming.
fucking hit my car. Somebody like smashed into my car while I was parked and they just left.
And so I was
And
presented with a choice.
Hold on. She goes, what? And I go, yeah. Can you fucking believe that? And she looks at me and I go, but don't worry. I have a dash cam. And she goes,
That is not what happened. That is
you
not.
were going to tell me anyway. That's not a question that you were going to tell me
I thought that
anyway.
you were questioning my honesty.
The
And I was
time-
like, no, the guilt of that would have eaten me alive.
The timing is just funny because you were like, oh.
Well, because I
Did
was
you?
realizing that it was me.
And I went, I
And I
got
was
a
like-
dash cam. I'm going to review the footage.
Oh, and then
I'm
I was
gonna
like,
find this
I'm gonna stop you
motherfucker.
right there.
And you
I
went,
already know.
yeah, I know who did it.
Okay, but if you had not said that, I still would have come clean.
Of course you would have. That's not a question.
I thought I came clean before you said
You
I
did
was
not.
about to review the
No,
deck.
you did not. But that doesn't matter because I jumped into the dash cam immediately because I was like, finally, my
Well, because
investment
I was
is
trying
paying
to figure
off.
out how to tell you without you reaming my ass over the coals for not only bumping the back of your car, but also not telling you about it for 5 days. Because I was like, oh, I fucked up. I fucked up. And then you were talking about dash cams. I was like, well, I'm going to stop you right there, friend. I'm going to stop you right there. But I was presented with a split second of like, I could just not tell him. I was presented with that for a split second. I was like, I could just not tell him.
And this,
And be like, oh my God, babe, that's terrible. And then
this is the lesson
then-
random men need to learn.
but I was like, I immediately was like, no, you have to tell him your marriage is based on truth. The foundation of your marriage is truth. You have never lied to him before. You will never lie to him again, you know? And so I was like, no, but the temptation was there for a split second. And then you
course
said
it
the
was.
dash cam and I was like, well, the temptation is gone, even though it was there for just a scope. Who among us is not a little tempted to get out of trouble if you can?
Of course you are.
Of course.
But
Of course. I'm a human. I'm only human.
This is what random men need to learn. Just and everybody in the Wheel of Time, frankly, just talk about it. Just talk about it.
Oh, that's
you know? Communication in my Wheel of Time?
Let's put the cum in communication.
Oh my God. Oh my God. All right.
Spill our rocks on communication.
Oh my God. There was a review. I gotta read part of this. There's a review for season 3 from some people who have read the books, and I just need to read this clip because it's fucking hilarious. Somebody wrote, I think you've hit upon the main overarching change from the books, bigger than all other changes. The show has made an effort to make these characters into people with relatable problems, rather than a pack of ill-tempered, nuance-deaf ding-dongs who make bad choices and then have to dig themselves out. I howled. I lost my fucking mind when I heard that.
People are going to start being like, I really loved Allie and Gus until they started being so negative.
I didn't write
multiple
that.
people say that about it.
I love these fucking books. I just thought that was hilarious. Because we're talking about how the people in the books frequently...
That's fine. I'm going to be honest. My throat chakra is clear.
Yeah. We're talking about how people just don't fucking talk about their problems, which is realistic.
I apparently have 2 other blocked chakras. I found that out in the days since we recorded the first half of this episode.
I'm just obsessed with the phrase ill-tempered, nuanced deaf ding-dongs who make bad choices and then have to dig themselves out.
That person's a wordsmith. A smith of words. What an incredible...
I gotta find that. Hold on. We're gonna take an ad break. I'm gonna find that review. Welcome back. I found the article. It's an Ars Technica. If you're mad at the people who said that, it wasn't me. It was Andrew Cunningham and Lee Hutchinson, who have been reading the books for decades. So take it up with them. I think it's fucking funny. Okay.
That is fucking funny, though.
It's their review of
Listen.
Episode 5? Episode 5.
They're not wrong. We have professed this not quite so wordsmithily.
Not quite as intensely or heavily.
Well, that's because we are non-confrontational.
Oh, wait, now I want to fight because he followed it up by saying, well, except maybe for Elaine. I kind of want to shake her a bit. Okay, fair, actually. Okay.
Elaine? Our Elaine? No. I love her. The Hills of Tenchiko.
I hadn't watched that
yet.
The
Hills of Tenchiko.
All right, so Rand, wait, we got to talk about the war crimes.
The
serious podcast.
Of Tenchiko.
All right, so
the Hills of Tenchiko.
It is a fucking bop of a song.
I'm gonna be real. That exact scenario would be like a dream come true for me. If I got up in front of everybody.
Here's the thing.
They all started singing with me, vibing.
We will get there when we talk about episode 6.
I became a celeb.
In shmoo weeks. Sooner than you might think, if you think never. Okay.
It will be way sooner than never.
It will be way sooner because those are actually starting.
No, my entire plan for tomorrow is to sit down, watch as many episodes as I can with all of the notes that I need to take. Good. And that is my plan for tomorrow.
Good. Let's get her moving. I'm excited. Okay.
That's how I'm spending my sick day. Okay, I'm working for all of you.
Rand, he's like, so they should communicate. All that to say, they should communicate rather than being whatever Lee said about them. Okay, he brings some maidens with him because he's doing that now, so that's good. And then she's like, Rand, you're really diving right in here. You spent months getting ready to fight Samael, and now you're just jumping right into fighting Grendel. And I'm like, point of order. Actually, he did not spend months getting ready to fight Samael. He maneuvered things, and then it all went tits up. And then he just teleported to Ilion by himself, practically. It was great. Fucking amazing chapter. So he gets... Who's he bring with him? Min. And
that guy.
Nynaeve as well.
Yeah.
And your friend and mine. The one and only. What's his name? Say it with me.
Butt
3,
face.
2, 1.
Buttface.
Ramshalon. Lord
your
Ramshalon.
Friend and mine.
Lord Ramshalon? The overstuffed man from Lady Chadmar's former circle? She's like, what the fuck are we doing? Why? And they talk. Oh, you poor thing. And they talk.
It's okay, I'm working for all of you.
They talk through. Okay. Oh, you buddy.
I have told Gus, I was like, I'm on vocal rest tonight because I'm performing tomorrow. Gus was like, except for recording the podcast. And I was like, yes.
You sound great.
I'm so rested.
So Ram Shalon comes in. My lord called for me. And he's like, Ram Shalon, you're the smartest man I know. I need your help. How does he play this? Because I love this scene.
Okay, this part's funny.
This part's funny as
like,
fuck.
You're the smartest man I know. You got to go suck up to Grendel for me. And everyone's like, what are you doing? And he's like, trust me. Then the guy comes back with a fried egg brain.
Yeah, pretty much.
You like the term fried egg brain?
I do. It's accurate.
I'm just trying to match the wordsmithery of, what was it?
Ill-tempered, nuanced,
deaf ding-dongs. Good God. What a phrase. Okay. Yeah. All right. And then that's pretty much what happened.
I have a puzzle for you, Ram Shalon. I want to know what you think. Please, don't hesitate, my lord. Then tell me this. How do I outthink an enemy I know is smarter than I am? My lord! Surely you seek to trick me. There's nobody more intelligent than yourself. I wish that were true. I face some of the most crafty people who have ever lived. My current foe understands the minds of others in a way that I cannot hope to match. So how do I defeat her? She will vanish the moment I threaten her, running to one of a dozen other refugees she's sure to have set up. She won't fight me head on. Yet if I destroy her fortress in a surprise attack, I risk letting her slip away and never knowing if I've finished her. A problem indeed, my lord!
Finish her. Spill your rocks.
Oh my God! I have to peer into her eyes, see into her soul, and know that it's her that I face, and not some decoy.
Listen, this was an extremely problematic thing of Rand to do until he exploded the entire fortress, and then I was like, that guy got off real lucky, actually.
Ram Shalon, yeah. My lord, if your foe is that clever, then perhaps your best course of action is to request the aid of someone more clever. An excellent suggestion, Ram Shalon. Perhaps I've already done just that. And Ram Shalon is like, oh, well.
Well, you don't see.
If you had an enemy such as this, Ram Shalon, what would you do? I grow impatient. Give me an answer. And what does he say?
Go chat him up.
Be their buddy. Team up. Ally. And Rand is like,
With a Forsaken?
what a guy.
What a smarty.
He didn't tell him who it was, of course.
A smarty pants Mickey over here.
It's time for you to be off then. My lord? And this is great.
My
'Cause he just goes, yeah. You go talk to him. And he makes a gateway to the middle of the fucking forest. And he goes, anyway, yeah, go. There's some people in the fortress over there. Go talk to them about it.
Yeah.
It's the first of many places I shall send you. Go in my name and seek those who rule the keep. See if they're willing to support me or if they even know about me. Offer them rewards for allegiance. Since you've proven yourself clever, I'll let you determine the terms. I have the mind for those sorts of negotiations myself. And Ram Shalon is like, my Lord Dragon, could I perhaps have something in the way of an escort? Because he's just dropping him in the middle of the fucking Muir Woods.
Yep.
By himself to go and negotiate with hostile people.
This is a messed up thing to do.
It's so fucked up, man.
But at the same time,
It's funny, but it's fucked up.
it's fucked up. It's pretty fucked up. But also, he deserves it because he's annoying.
And Rand's like, yeah, whatever, go. So they go.
Because
And,
the worst thing you can be in literature is annoying.
and what does Nynaeve say?
Nynaeve says, that's fucked up.
Brother, what the fuck are we doing here?
Yeah, that's fucked up.
Like, why
are we doing that?
are we just, I don't like Ram Shalon either, but like, this is a lot what we're doing here. I don't intend to play your games, Rand Thor. You've obviously already decided what you intend to do. Why ask me? Because he also asks her, how would you fight Megiddium? And how would you fight Grendel? And he goes, because what I am about to do should frighten me. It doesn't.
Okay. Cool then.
So they go through and they get up and they're looking down at Natrin's Barrow. It's beautiful. It's pretty, man. It's real nice. It's Neuschwanstein Castle in the woods. That's what it's called, right? Neuschwanstein? Is that the castle, the pretty castle? Neuschwanstein? Neuschwanstein Ram Shalom. Let me make sure. Yeah, it's Neuschwanstein Castle, and I'm probably saying it wrong. My apologies to all the people who speak German, specifically Anna. It's Neuschwanstein Castle, and he's looking at it, and he's like, damn, that's pretty. And there's all these fucking people, and there's...
I can't wait to blow that up. I'm spilling my rocks just thinking about it.
there's... Although I do
he's
think...
just like a little eager.
Well, I do think it's important to mention he's kind of not. He's kind of just like completely walled off from feeling an emotion now.
Sure.
Right? Sure. I do think that's a key difference from him and Aram. Because Aram is a different thing. Right? Aram is like...
Well, Aram was frothing like some milk every time.
Yes.
Every time he got to do anything.
Yeah, Aram was disappointed that they couldn't put hot coals on the Aiel's stomachs.
Yeah.
Rand is just like, this should make me upset, but I'm not upset because I am in this weird fucking place now. So what is his plan with Ram Shallan, Allie? What exactly is he using Ram Shallan for?
Scary stuff. Oh yeah, so that he can confirm that Grendel is there.
No.
What? No.
He knows Grendel's there.
Where she is?
He knows Grendel's in there.
I thought it was to confirm that she's in there.
He sends Ram Shallan in there knowing fully well that Grendel is in there, knowing fully well that Grendel will do what?
Wipe his memories.
Use compulsion on him.
Use compulsion on him. Yeah.
So then when Ram Shallan comes back, Grendel is expecting what?
For Rand to come?
Rand is going to like try to unpick the thing, and then she's probably got like a backdoor plan laid for that. He's like, okay, here's my chess piece, and she's like, here's my chess piece, and there's also cyanide on it.
I'm gonna blow up the chess.
And then he's like, what if I just flipped the table over and punched you in the fucking face?
A reasonable response.
What about that? Because what he does is he sends Ram Shallan in.
He takes Nynaeve's plate thing and
makes it worse.
Does it to the nth degree.
Ram Shallan comes back.
Well, why would he send Ram Shallan then if he knew that she was in there?
Because he goes, hey, yo, Nynaeve, is there compulsion in his brain? And Nynaeve goes, yeah, there's a lot of it in his brain. And he goes, awesome. And then he balefires the castle and he goes, is there still compulsion in his brain?
Oh, he wants to confirm the kill.
He's using Ram Shallan as a kill confirm. That is the only reason he brought Ram Shallan. He knew from day one, from moment one, he was going to come here and balefire this castle. He used balefire so he could confirm that she was dead and that she couldn't get rezzed. Not because it's the eternal death of the soul. It's not. But because he knew that Ram Shallan, that Grendel would be dead with balefire. And, because Grendel is a Saidar user, she can't tell that he's channeling. So she has no warning.
Yeah.
Yeah. If there were a male Forsaken down there, then they would have been like, I should leave. But it's Grendel, so it's not.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, so Ram Shallan comes back up. They talk him. I would go over some of this because I think it's cool. You don't expect her to believe that story you told him about sending him out to test the allegiance of the Domani lords? No, I hope for her to believe something of that tale, but I did not expect it. I meant what I said about her men. She's more crafty than I am, and I fear that she knows me far better than I know her. She'll compel Ram Shallan and pull from him that entire conversation we had. From there, she'll find a way to use that conversation against me. How? I don't know. I wish I did. She'll think of something clever, then infect Ram Shallan with a very subtle compulsion that I won't be able to anticipate. I'll be left with the choice to keep him nearby and see what he does, or to send him away, but of course she'll think of that as well, and whatever I do will set in motion her other plans. And Nynaeve was like, so you can't win. We can't win? Is that what we're trying to do? Win? And they're like, you're talking weird. You're fucking creeping me out.
Rand's been talking weird.
So Ram Shallan busts in, and
Brain akimbo.
My Lord Dragon? Is he infected? Rand asked of Nynaeve. By what? Grendel's touch.
The mushrooms.
And she glances in and goes, oh, bro, that is fucked up. Yes, Rand, he's under a heavy compulsion. There are a lot of weaves here. Not as bad as the Chandler's apprentice, or maybe just more subtle.
Let me ask you a question.
Yes.
If Grendel dies, those weaves just disappear, is he fine?
If he balefires Grendel and she dies before she does the compulsion on him, yes.
So he's fine?
Yes.
Well, there you go.
I say, Ram Shallan said, my Lord Dragon, what is going on? The lady of the castle down there is quite friendly.
The war crimes.
She's an ally, my lord. You have nothing to fear from her. Very refined, I must say. And Rand is like, oh.
All right.
And then it gets dark because this is not ominous enough already. And Min is like, maybe we should leave. We know she's there, and we got Ramshalan, and we can start playing chess now. We could talk to Cadsuane, and Miranda's like, don't say Cadsuane. You know how I feel about Cadsuane.
All right, please.
Cadsuane is my least favorite character in this series because I hate her. I want her to get killed.
That's much. That's
Rand
much.
really hates
Also, I'm
Cadsuane.
like, please don't yell at me when you just strangled me.
A box,
I know
man.
that wasn't your fault, but like, come on.
Cadsuane held me in a box.
Okay, that was not her.
Though Cadsuane's box had walls that were invisible, it was as binding as any that ever held me.
Okay.
Her tongue was a far more painful rod than any that was taken to my skin.
Okay.
I see that now. I just don't necessarily
I just
know
really
that I
think
agree
that's
with you,
untrue.
Rand.
I just think that's categorically
I just don't
false.
fucking think I agree with you, boss. I'm sorry. Like, I agree that Cadsuane was a bad mentor, but like, no, I don't think this was as bad as that.
Yeah.
And I just feel like you can't really hold the fucking bracelets against her that much. Considering that we needed to use the Dark One to fucking break physics, and that he could have gotten a different one. It's just like, it's clearly, you're being manipulated, boss. But he's not in a good headspace right now, so I understand why he feels this way. I just wish he didn't. You dig me?
I'm just like, what, like, fucking mother wound do you have? Like, my God, it's just too much. It's too much. We need to clear some chakras. I will call my massage therapist and my acupuncturist, and we will just get to work on that. I'm thinking heart chakra for sure.
What is the purpose of all this? Nynaeve demanded. You sent this man to suffer a compulsion, knowing what it would do to him? I won't watch another man squirm and die because of this. And Ramshalan is like...
Heart chakra.
Ramshalan is like, what?
Squirming what?
My lord?
Squirming pie?
Neither of you were there when
Squirm and
Kalendor
fly?
failed me.
Squirm and cry?
It happened twice. Once I tried to use it to raise the dead, but I only got a puppeted body. Once I tried to use it to destroy the Shanchan, but I caused as much death among my own armies as I caused among theirs. Cadsuane told me that the second failure came from a flaw in Kalendor itself. It cannot be controlled by a lone man.
Okay.
You see?
Okay.
It only works if he's in a box. Kalendor.
Well, great news. Cadsuane was putting you in one.
Kalendor is a carefully enticing leash intended to make me surrender willingly. So what, by the way, what is the flaw? What is the problem with Kalendor?
He just needs to fucking chill, dude.
He does.
Whoa.
What is the problem with Kalendor?
That you need a woman.
You need two women.
It's a fucking... God forbid we have to entrust our, like, two closest women friends. Like, he even has 3 women friends. He can choose from multiple women friends.
He does have 2 wives who can channel.
Yeah, 2 of them he's married to. And then he's got 2 additional. That's 4 women. He knows 4 women he could trust with that job. That's double the rate of women. This is a man friends with 4 whole women. Well, fucking 2 of them. But friends with 2 whole women.
Who can channel.
Who can channel? I don't think he's friends with a woman who can't. He's fucking one, but...
Men. Oh, fucking, yeah, okay.
Well, yeah, I guess you could still be friends.
Wait, so who are the... You got,
I guess he's friends with Berylane, but he sent her away, and that was rude.
Elaine, Avienda, Nynaeve, Egwene. If we get Moiraine back, that's 5.
What's Berylane even doing right now?
She's just with Perrin.
Justice for Berylane.
She's literally just with Perrin.
Like, why?
Because. So Rand holds up the access key and they're like, why do you have the pocket nuke? What are we doing with the pocket nuke? Do we need the pocket nuke? What if we didn't do the pocket nuke? I see a different answer to my problems, Rand said, voice still almost a whisper. Both times Kalendor failed me, I was being reckless with my emotion. I allowed temper to drive me. I can't kill in anger, Min. I have to keep that anger inside. I must channel it as I channel the one power. Each death must be deliberate. Intentional. And she's like, okay, I wasn't scared of you when you were choking me to death. I wasn't scared of you then. But I am scared of you now. So maybe we don't do this.
Yeah.
I've done it before, he whispered. You're gonna love it. I once said that I didn't kill women, but it was a lie. I murdered a woman long before I faced Semirhage. Her name was Laia. I killed her in Shadowlogoth. I struck her down, and I called it mercy. Justice for faceless dark friend woman. Faceless, nameless dark friend woman. Justice for her.
Justice for vaginas.
So he's telling her about Laia, and he goes, forgive me. for calling this mercy as well. And then he balefires Neuschwanstein Castle.
Okay, so here's the thing. I was like, Rand should kill some women because there are women trying to kill him. I didn't mean all the women, like that in miles of radius. That's insane.
He's a man of extremes.
We could temper those a bit. We're Christmas treeing. We're Christmas treeing.
Yeah, so he balefires the entire fortress.
Oh, God.
And all the people in and about it. And then it disappears. And then it was gone. Burned from the landscape and the pattern as if it had never been there. The entire fortress. Hundreds of feet of stone and everyone who had lived in it. Something hit Min. Something like a shocking wave in the air. It wasn't a physical blast, and it didn't make her stumble, but it twisted her insides about. The forest around them, still lit by the glowing access key in Rand's hand, seemed to warp and shake. It was as if the world itself were groaning in agony. It snapped back, but Min could still feel that tension. In that instant, it seemed as if the very substance of the world had been near to breaking. So that's the problem.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We just zapped a bunch of people out of existence. Damn. Hate to see it happen. People are just getting zapped out of existence.
What, Allie, with no chance of rebirth now?
No
because
chance
they were
of rebirth. Because they were balefire. That's a terrible thing. Really, like the intensity of the emotional stakes of this chapter, it cannot be understated. I mean, you're not only dead, but perma-dead. No chance of returning to the pattern in any way, shape, or form. Just a burnt hole in its wake. Hundreds of people, never to be reborn again. Reincarnation is dead to them. Closed off forever.
All right. That episode is called Allie Learns How Balefire Works.
I think it's called Spilling Your Rocks.
Hey, there you go. So this happens and Nynaeve is like, hey, what the fuck, though? Did we have to do that?
And the answer is kind of no. But, like, I mean, all right.
By the way, the text explicitly assumes that they are... The text says they were gone, burned from the pattern, killed, dead forever. So
Then
it sure as fuck
what?
seems like the book thinks that balefire is the eternal death of the soul, but according to Robert, it's not.
Well, guys, this was a Brandon Sanderson chapter, clearly. And clearly that is not canon because Brandon Sanderson wrote it. He didn't have a fundamental understanding of the very simple to understand metaphysics of my...
Oh, boy.
I'm just making turkey noises now.
I like your turkey noises.
Spill your rocks. Did you hear me as a turkey say spill your rocks?
That was something else. Yeah,
If I were unfunny, that would be the funniest
This,
thing.
by the way, was specifically a Q&A from 1998 where Robert Jordan was asked, is balefire the eternal death of the soul? And he said, if someone, I'm going to quote him directly, if someone is balefired, the Dark One can't reincarnate them, but they can be spun back out into the wheel as normal. Balefire is not the eternal death of the soul. And then, yeah. So anyway, moving on from that, because if the book is going to act like balefire is the eternal death of the soul, I guess I will too.
I'm going to allow it.
What does the companion say? Because now I'm like questioning whether this is actually contradictory. Hold on. All right, I'm going to read directly from the companion just so we're sure. Balefire, an extreme weapon of channelers. It burned anything it touched into non-existence and also burned threads from the pattern, an effect which could destroy past realities. People who were balefired could not be brought back by the Dark One. However, their souls were not destroyed, and they could be spun out by the wheel at a later time. All right. There we go. Moving on. We never have to talk about this again. Okay. Al, you want to talk about that at all, or are we good there? You want to keep moving?
I think we have talked about that.
Great. Good.
In depth.
Good. And Rand did a fucky thing, and everybody's unhappy with him. And Ramshalon...
including me.
Ramshalon...
I mean, can you imagine just zapping people out of existence like that?
Rand is like, Ramshalon's head's still fucked up. Rand goes, Ramshalon's head's still fucked up? And Min is like, what? And Nynaeve is like, what? And Rand is like, is his head still fucked up? And she goes, I hate what you just did, Rand. No, hate isn't strong enough. I loathe what you've done. What has happened to you? And Rand is like, yeah. Check his head. Check his head. It's gone. Erased.
Yeah, beep.
Then she is dead. She's like, damn, dude, that was fucked up. You used the man as a fucking like a fucking COVID test to see if the compulsion comes up with 2 lines, then she's alive, and if it comes up with 1 line, she's dead. That's fucked up. And Ramshalan is like, can somebody, Mom, I would like to go home. Pick me up. I'm scared. And Rand is like, all right, Ramshalan, thanks for that. You helped me out good. Mm-hmm. The answer is simple. You make her think you're sitting down across the table from her ready to play her game. Then you punch her in the face as hard as you can. You've served me well, Ramshalan. I'll forgive you for boasting to Lords Vivian and Caldwell that you could manipulate me however you wished. And Ramshalan is like, I was very drunk at the time. Mm-hmm. That's my bad. I went hard on the Malbec that day. It was a rough fucking night for me. So don't hold that one against me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And Rand goes, yeah, it's good. So I'm not going to put you to death. Instead, you're exiled to a village 2 days walk to the south. Bye. And then he just teleports away. And, yeah, okay. We don't need to talk too much more about that. I feel like we've touched most of this already. The book really, really heavily implies that they're permadead. And it's very funny that they're not. Because they keep on reiterating, like, they've been burned out of existence forever. They're gone forever. And
so
the reader is just like,
how
no,
are
they're
we
not.
supposed to interpret that? I think Robert Jordan forgot. He just was like, I'm on my 12th beer at this point, and I don't even know what that word means.
So Rand is like, yeah, you know what? All those people, I did them a favor because they had been brainwashed, and now they're gone. So good for that.
Fully reach, Batman.
I'm going to bed. Fuck y'all. Fuck y'all. Good night.
All right.
And he leaves.
That's a lot.
And Nynaeve goes, I wish Moiraine were here. Then froze as if surprised to have heard herself say that.
What has Moiraine ever done wrong to any of these people?
Very little.
She has only ever helped them.
So Rand,
except for that story.
Min is like, that's fucked up. We got to help him out. And Nynaeve is like, maybe he was right. Maybe. What if he was right? What if he's right, wall-headed fool though he is? What if he really does have to be like this to win? The old Rand could never have destroyed an entire fortress of people to kill one of the Forsaken. Of course he couldn't have, Min said. He still cared about killing them. Nynaeve, all those lives. And how many people would still be alive now if he'd been this ruthless from the start? If he'd been capable of sending his followers into danger as he did Ramshalan? I'm sorry. I'm just having fun.
I loved it. Hey, babes. That was really fun.
Okay.
I just want you to know that.
And
babe, you're so good.
Oh, thanks. She goes, this might be what he has to be. The last battle's nearly upon us, Min. The last battle. And Min is like,
in like 2 more books.
Min is like, you want this motherfucker on the front lines of the last? You really want that?
No.
You sure? I don't think so.
I'm not into it. I'm gonna be real. This was. I would have stopped following Rand a long time ago. Honestly,
nothing matters to him anymore but defeating the Dark One. Winning won't be winning at all if Rand becomes, as you said it, something as bad as the Forsaken.
Boom. Moral relativism, motherfucker.
And Nynaeve was like, nah, you're right. I don't right. You're right, and I don't like it. She goes, what don't you like? That Cadsuane was right.
Okay.
And then Min is like, maybe she wasn't, though. And they kind of go back and forth. And Nynaeve says they have to handle Rand. And Min is like, why do y'all talk about him like he's a thing and not a person who has feelings and emotions? Like, we're all talking about how we got to handle him and, like, use him and manipulate into them in the right spot. Where I'm like, maybe we should give him a hug.
Okay. But he just killed a fortress full of people. I'm not sure that, like, a hug is going to cut it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. We're nearly done. So...
Like, I don't think a cuddle puddle is gonna...
What she actually says, Nynaeve and Cadsuane were both so concerned with handling that they failed to see that it might be best to help him instead. Nynaeve cared for Rand, but she saw him as a problem to be fixed, rather than a man in need. He can be both. I mean, here's the thing. He is a man in need. He does need to stop, actively making everyone else's life worse.
It's true.
Both, that's a problem in his behavior. Am I wrong? You're looking at me like I'm wrong.
There's a problem in his behavior.
Yeah.
He's a problem man. He's the problematic man. Yeah. Have you ever met a man?
He's still a man in need. Like, I'm not saying he doesn't deserve compassion. He does.
Yeah. But also, he just killed a fortress full of people. They also deserve compassion as well. And he did not show a lot of compassion. He's showing a troubling lack of regret or guilt over that. It's just troubling.
So
I'm troubled.
So Nynaeve busts into Cadsuane's pad and goes, I have to speak with Cadsuane. Cadsuane,
Rand's going to get mad about
She has
this.
no business with you right now. Return tomorrow and perhaps she will see you. Rand al'Thor just burned an entire palace full of people from existence with balefire. I was with him. And Cadsuane goes, let her in.
That's a good time to, chat about. That's something we need to chat about.
Cerelia is in there and she's like, yeah, we thought something shitty might have just happened. We felt that. Give us the rundown. Tell us what happened. And they do. And Min is like, Rand must feel really, really bad about that. Rand must be devastated, but he's not. He doesn't really have any feelings.
This is a problem. Can we cast a feelings be back spell?
You said recently that if he gets his feelings back by learning that he's going to have children, you might throw the book.
I will throw the book. I will drop kick this motherfucker into the sun. I know it's going to happen now that you've said that.
I didn't.
Fuck. This motherfucker. Life is meaningless until you have children. You should know that.
No.
As a childless person, I have no purpose in life. I have not fulfilled my duty as a woman, which is getting the rocks spilled.
No. Oh, God. Okay. So they decide
that I can produce some pebbles. You know?
That's fucking funny. They decide they're going to bring Cadsuane in on their plans a little bit, and they're not going to tell her the whole plan. They can tell her part of it. And they say, all right, Cadsuane.
Rand's going to get mad, though.
Cerelia all right, Nynaeve. Cerelia, Cadsuane, we're going to bring you in, Nynaeve. Here's your job. What's her job? Big critical task.
Don't fuck up.
Find Perrin Ibarra.
So that Rand can get his rocks spilled by Perrin Ibarra?
What good will that do? Which was funny because we... She just ended the man's life.
I forgot that. I think I laughed that hard at the time too.
You did.
I forgot that happened. That's so goddamn funny. Was that Nynaeve who said that?
You did, yeah, because it was funny. Cadsuane said that, and you said, "What good will that do?" And then Nynaeve said, "What good will that do?"
I've always liked Nynaeve.
That is our business. He's been traveling in the south recently, but we can't discover exactly where. The al'Thor boy might know where he is. Find out for us, and perhaps I'll explain the point. And Min is like, all right, you know what? I can feel Rand's emotions, even though he's claiming that he doesn't have any feelings, and he doesn't really feel like it. I'm sure he's getting eaten up on the inside by this. So, like,
can you confirm though? Can you confirm that because you're the one who actually has insight?
Well, when she does have insight, oh, Rand, Min thought, this must be tearing you apart inside. But she could feel him through the bond. His emotions seemed very cold.
Eee.
His deed this day would be destroying him.
My boyfriend is a serial killer.
No matter what he proclaimed.
My boyfriend is a serial killer.
There were plenty of others worrying about what he would...
It's totally fine. It probably won't be a problem for me. His girlfriend, who has unlimited access to the serial killer. He definitely will not turn on me at some point when it behooves him. I'm gonna be fine. Na, 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 na.
There were plenty of others worrying about what he would do with the last battle. It was her job.
Who cares? They were just NPCs.
It was her job to get him to that last battle. Alive and sane, with his soul in one piece.
All right.
Somehow.
Spilling his rocks.
That's the end of chapter 37.
That is the end of chapter rocks.
Do you have anything else you want to say, or shall we call it here?
He'll spill his rocks on the blood of Shai-Ul Ghul.
Thanks for listening, everyone. We have social media if you want to know what we've got going on. It's linked down below. We also have a Patreon if you want to support us that way. It's patreon.com/wheeltakes. Sorry, I coughed in the middle of that. And you can always leave us a rating and review if you want. It helps a lot. Show episodes are going to start really soon. I promise. They're going to start really soon. And book episodes will continue, and they'll happen in some pattern or not. Other than that, anything else, Allie?
I already did mine. The blood rocks Shai-Ul Ghul.
Come. Thanks for listening, everyone. Bye.
Bye.